I'm here in Pride 2015, surrounded by lesbians, gays, bisexuals, trans, a few others thrown in for good measure. And this is supposed to be this big protest for LGBT rights, but it isn't anymore. It's now a parade, and lots of people think it's been commercialised and that it's not political enough. So that's what I want to kind of look at. What's gone wrong? I'm going to talk to a group of people who are pretty cynical about Pride. They think basically it's a bit of a corporate stitch-up. It's been stripped of its political message. Now, some quite colourful characters here. They're pretty cool, though.
One thing that really inspires me about Pride's origins is that it was all about all oppressions are connected. Our humanity, our liberation can't be at the expense of other oppressed minorities. Society is premised upon isolating specific groups and communities and playing them off each other, the divide and rule culture of the powers that be. We're not liberated unless everyone's liberated.
I can't help but notice there's this big coffin here in flowers, very beautifully done.
The coffin represents the spirit of Pride that doesn't really exist anymore, in our opinion. Like, you know, there used to be a revolutionary kind of thing. It used to be about protest. It used to be about speaking out for current issues.
Pride has turned into a day where everyone's vying for attention to say, we love gays, we'll support gays, but don't look at our track record and our policy and our human rights record. We are about questioning, because if you don't question, nothing changes.
So we're going to Pride now, going to the march itself, and what I'm doing is I'm going to section C. Now that's where the trade union block is, and it's led by lesbians and gays support the miners, who were immortalised in the film Pride. They'll be joined by miners with big miners banners and all the rest of it, and it's about that unity of the trade union movement and their struggle and LGBT people. Mike Jackson, one of the co-founders of Lesbians and Gays Support the Miners. This is weird because it's 30 years on since that gay pride, which was led, partly by the miners.
One of the key factors in the emancipation today of the LGBT community is due directly to the British coal miners and the National Union of Mine Workers.
Age of consent, discrimination, the right to civil partnership, marriage, whatever. I owe it, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. You're a bit smaller than me, man, but you're a giant. You're still a giant. But I owe everything I've got to people your struggle and sacrifice, because it was tough, wasn't it? It was a struggle.
These were the days when, if you had the temerity to come out as LGBT, employers could just sack you, and you had no redress to that. 30 years on, behind me, we've got banners from Wales, we've got banners from Yorkshire, we've got Women Against Pit Closures here.
Without the women involved in the strike, it wouldn't have been able to go on as long as it did.
As the men were getting picked up on the picket line, the women went in their places, and obviously it changed a lot of lives for the women. They found talent and ability, these women, that they never knew that they had.
Education is a right, is a right, is a right. Education is a right, not a privilege.
Do you think Pride isn't political in the way it should be?
Yes, definitely.
Why? What's happened?
So it's currently being sponsored by loads of corporations and banks.
You can't get away from abusive human rights by saying, oh, but look, we're really good for gays.
How are we going to reclaim it?
We have to stand in solidarity with other groups. We have to go on their marches and be on their demonstrations and occupy with them, not just come out for a day of partying and glitter and bubbles and rainbows.
It's too corporate. I'm proud to work with my company. I think it's great that these companies are showing their support for such a fantastic movement, and it's great that it's becoming more and more mainstream. I'm absolutely loving it.
The more the merrier!
Homos and their supporters are expected to compliantly toddle along behind corporate bullies. Our pride is gone. So it is with great sadness that we bury Pride this day and scatter Pride's ashes across the stomping grounds of Pride's past.
overwhelming support for a miners' cause, for working class politics. The struggle continues. We've got a government that's worse than Thatcher's government 30 years ago, I can assure you. People are begging for radical change, and this is the expression of it. Marvellous.
Tories! Tory, Tory, Tory! Oh, Tory, Tory, Tory!
Scum, scum, scum!
What's amazing today is look at all the young people here, and these are young people who are actually really sharp, really political, really up on LGBT rights, really determined to finish off the job that was begun generations ago and get genuine equality and dignity. I think it's easy with the LGBT movement to get really complacent, to saying, oh, all these battles have been won, everything's fine now, and it isn't. We live in a society where you're far more likely to have mental distress if you're LGBT, as mental health services are slashed away under this government. You're far more likely to be homeless. Like, you can't just walk hand in hand with your partner in most places in this country in 2015. There's still lots of battles to be won. I'm confident they will all be won. Our ancestors fought far worse things against far greater odds and won each time eventually, and history looks upon them kindly in a way they don't look at their oppressors. So we will win in the end. Pride has got a bit of this corporate takeover, these big companies trying to make themselves look good. But we saw today that the old spirit of Pride still lives on.